I'm confronting my wife's affair partner today. I caught them and confronted her about the affair 3 months ago. She apologized profusely and told me she still wanted to be with me, wanted to save our marriage, counseling, etc. We've been in couples and individual counseling. She's outwardly told me all the right things. She loves me and only me, wants to fix things, doesn't want a divorce, etc. She gave me access to her phone but told me she doesn't want to catch me sneakily going through it. She swears up and down that she's on the straight and narrow to repairing our broken trust. Except, she's still seeing him. I found out and kept it to myself. I plan to serve her divorce papers tomorrow, but first I'm going to confront her AP to see what other lies she's been telling me. I know they've talked on the phone a dozen times since I found out and told her she had to go no contact. She swears she hasn't been in contact with him, but the phone records don't lie. They text almost every day. She's obviously deleting them from her phone because I haven't seen them there. But she doesn't know deleting them on her phone doesn't delete them from her iPad. So at the moment, I'm sitting in a car outside of his house, waiting for him or his wife to leave for work. If he leaves, I'm going to follow him to where he works and confront him there. If she leaves first, I'm going to go knock on his door. Wish me luck, Reddit. Update 1. Update. I confronted AP, he played super dumb. I knocked on his door and waited outside, calling him and texting him. My very first message to him said, "Do not call my wife or I will call your wife, your parents, and her parents." He opened the door and we stood out in front of his house and talked. I started by telling him this conversation never happened. If you call her, if you tell her that I was here, I will drop a bomb on your life. He responded okay, and I started in on my questions. He lied and lied again. I kept catching him in his lies, and he responded that he was freaking out and wasn't thinking straight. I asked if his wife knows, no, and if he wants to be with my wife, no. I continued to ask him questions which he lied, denied, and claimed ignorance. I said, "I see that's how this is going to go. I'm leaving. Good luck." As I was walking away, he said, "For what it's worth, I'm really sorry about this. I'll block her number and never talk to her again." "Thanks," I responded. It took my STBXW nearly 2 weeks to actually apologize to me, and you did it after a 10-minute conversation. So I appreciate that. Now I hope I never see you again. As I left, I checked my cell phone records and saw that while I was waiting outside, he called my wife, and they had a 5-minute conversation before he opened the door and came out. I called him back and said, "Boy, I knew you were dumb, but I never imagined you were that dumb. You made your bed. Now you get to lie in." He freaked out, started crying, and begged me not to tell his parents or her parents. I told him, "I gave you every chance to handle this like men, but you just couldn't do it, could you? This is on you," and I hung up. He's called me a half-dozen times and left me VM and texts saying he's sorry. He was freaking out because I was standing on his doorstep and he didn't know what to do. Now I know why he was playing so dumb. They talked before he talked to me so they could get their stories straight. Whatever, I'm done. I got what I needed. I was hoping to put this off until tomorrow, but it looks like it's going to have to happen tonight. I haven't heard from my STBXW yet, but the rest of my day should be pretty interesting. Now look at some comments. Please be safe. People can behave like cornered animals. Don't do anything you can't take back. And also, please update. I've been thinking about doing the same thing. I will be safe. I plan to do this in the open, and I am not going to get aggressive with him. Even though I'm fully capable of kicking his, I'm also going to videotape the encounter so he can't come back later and say that I attacked him or something. I'm very calm and level-headed about the whole thing. I was totally safe. We talked in a public area. He was afraid that I was going to shoot him or stab him or some other such nonsense, but I assured him I just wanted to talk like men. He couldn't even manage that, though. What a worthless worm of a man. Joke's on him now. Now that your wife is going to be divorced, he'll have a tougher time keeping this from his own wife. The fact that these people, him and your soon-to-be ex, lie and sneak around tells you all you need to know. Of course, he won't confront you, fight you, etc. These people are cowards. Thanks. It's hard now, but I know that my life will be immeasurably better once I am past all of this. Wishing you happiness and peace with your future faithful and trustworthy wife and your new free life. Thank you. The notion of a better future is really all I'm clinging to at the moment. It's going to be very hard to put our family, especially our children, through this, but I'm steadfast in my resolve. Make sure you get into counseling ASAP. I have experienced what you're going through to an extent, and you will need someone to help you through the intense trauma you're experiencing right now. You can't measure the pain you're going through and you shouldn't have to, but I would strongly recommend a good counselor. Emphasis on good. Speedman, feel free to message me if you need any help or advice. Even though you're getting out of a situation, I'm sorry for your loss. Thanks for the update. Thought you may call your wife as soon as he saw you. So, he provided no new information or confirmation on what you believe was happening. Really want to hear update after you talk to your wife. Congratulations for handling it calmly. Thanks for the update. Considering the circumstances, your meeting went fairly well. I'm sorry you didn't get the answers you wanted, but you have the facts, so I don't see why you felt like confronting him anyway. I know you plan to tell his wife either way, but telling him that he made his bed by calling your wife was great, kinda enforces that he really did up by not being man enough to talk. Hope the talk later with the wife goes well enough to not cause you too much heartache and drama. Stay strong and on course. Your wife clearly isn't remorseful enough to stop lying and contacting her AP behind your back. You've given her plenty of chances. You push your pride aside once by considering reconciliation, and she stepped all over it. Good luck, and thanks for the update once again. He's a piece of you apologized to me, like that was going to make anything better. Hey, I'm sorry for your wife, and then continuing to talk to her and meet with her after you found out. He's a sad piece of indeed. You mentioned before that you plan to record the conversation, correct? I hope you managed to record his blubbering and crying. That's just as porn at its finest. I love how telling his wife is both the right thing to do and also the best revenge you can get under the circumstances. Aside from that, make sure you record your confrontation with your wife later today. Under ideal circumstances, she won't be anything but remorseful and sad, but there is the off chance she might accuse you of some unfounded accusation in order to get her way in the divorce. You should also under no circumstances leave the house, at least until the divorce proceedings are out the way. Maybe consider reaching out to friends and family if you haven't already done so. Edit. How did you manage to record the idiot without having him notice you? Like, how could he assume you wouldn't use that against him in some way? Like, geez. Lol, I literally had my cell phone sticking up out of the pocket of my shirt with the camera running. He was so dumb. He either didn't notice or didn't care and came clean on enough that I can blow his up when the moment arises. And yes, having spent a lot of time in r/living infidelity, r/divorce, and other subreddits, I've been well aware of the fact that she can concoct any sort of accusations of abuse and get me arrested. I've recorded every single conversation she and I have had over the last 2-3 months, and will have my video camera running when I get home tonight, and I won't turn it off until I go to bed. Smart, like I said before, you've clearly planned this out fairly well, so I'm hoping things turn out as expected once you confront the wife. I hope she takes the news well enough to not blow things out of proportions and ask for forgiveness. Like, the least she could do is take the news with a semblance of grace, since she clearly doesn't give about you and you know it. Take care, man.